like maybe a 2-3 second lead at this point.
Yeah, I think it's increased ever so slightly. KB's Basker kill was just a little bit better than Beerful, so might be closer to like 3 or 4. But once again, like we talked about this evening, 3 or 4 seconds in Ninja Gaiden. This game is so just menacingly mean at times, and 3 or 4 seconds is not anything. You cannot attach any sort of value to that. This game will just rip it out of your hands as soon as it gets the opportunity. So Beerful still very much in this third race of this best of 5.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen Beerful pull off a faster Jackio kill several times tonight. So that just right there would be enough to close that gap. It's definitely any man's game at this point.
Yeah, both players moving into the bridge sequence of 4-2. Both players have the appropriate amount of Ninpo, so barring some sort of crazy act here, should be able to maneuver through the rest of the screen with relative ease. And we'll see if KB catches this boost off this pickle ninja that he skipped earlier. He skips it again.
Yeah, he decided to skip it again. That's really interesting. I wonder if that's just a safety strat on his behalf. He's not comfortable with it. He doesn't want to risk the time loss of missing it.
Yeah, I want to know. Somebody get him in the booth. Send him a microphone to his house. I want to know.
Yeah, he's gonna. We'll get Knucklebuster on TTS. Come in here and let us know.
KB did take a little bit of a knockback there, but this is a really bad place to get hung up, actually. Okay, he resets the screen. This is important. You need to maintain forward momentum throughout the second half of that screen if you want to catch that bullet boost. And that bullet boost, outside of I think that bullet boost is like the largest boost time save in the game. I think the next closest boost is probably the SP boost. So really good on him to kind of recognize, I need to stop and set the screen before I continue forward and load the turret.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. We had a lead change there, B-Fob taking the lead, but pretty impressive how well he pulled out of that situation. As they move here into 5, I guess it looks like KB over-manipped the Hammer Bro there, just completely took him out. We'll have to see, and having some issues there with that Hammer Bro, had to throw the star into him.
Yeah, it's something I'd like to talk about just ever so briefly because we haven't really explained it, I don't think. But yeah, that first Hammer Bro that's standing on the pillar at the beginning of 5-1, if you kind of hang in the air when you're loading his spawn, you can actually get him to kind of drop a little bit lower on the pillar, which lets you damage boost off his toesies, and you boost up the pillar and you save yourself what can sometimes be an annoying wall climb or flip flop. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the manip there at the beginning of 5-1. There are some scenarios where you can catch an unfavorable pattern and it's not possible, but really interesting to see whether runners get that or not, because it is a time save, albeit a marginal one.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just say that I think from now on that might just have to be the Toesies boost.
Oh boy, I've opened a can of cottage cheese, as it were.
Which has already happened. As we see here, we're getting the Janet boost. Beerful Belly nails it, as does Knucklebuster. The Janet boost, also an invention of the somewhat perfect, but not so great at predictions anymore, Finney.
We'll see. This is still very, very close. As long as, Beerful doesn't whip out some kind of plate kill or something, I still like KB's chances. Both runners looking... Oh
my goodness!
The worst example of commentator's curse, maybe, at least definitely in the history of the NRL, KB taking a very, very untimely death. But what I love about this matchup, though, is that like Beerful and Knucklebuster are, the best at recovering from this kind of scenario, because they just switch to a different category.
Yeah, they just go low percent. Yeah, you can see he went through, those are world record strats that he's using for low percent through that last screen there. So he's just doing his thing. It's a big loss. He's a full screen back, but not nearly as bad as it could be otherwise.
Yeah, and once again, this is kind of similar to when Retro took a death in 5-3 earlier. It's not so much the stage routing that's problematic. It's really this mouth fight. You can see the stark contrast between just giving the old bzz with the spin slash versus having to manually slash them down. It's just such a big time loss.
Yeah, that is the majority of the time loss there, is just having to deal with Malthan that way. And it was interesting. The way KB died there, he got hit by that Jetpack Ninja's shuriken on his when he landed, and I wonder if maybe he spun too early, and so the spin slash stopped, and by the time he landed, it didn't take out that shuriken, which caused him to get knocked into the pit. It's not a common area, not a common death that you see.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest source of deaths at this point in the tournament. It's just those really, really weird, strange one-offs that, don't really happen to people. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen to KB again for like another 3,000 attempts or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not something you see, and you're absolutely right. Where the skill level and the consistency between these two runners, the only thing that's going to take them out is just something very, very strange that they don't see coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to interview KB after this. I wouldn't be surprised if he says, "I've never died that way before."
Yeah. I wouldn't either. Absolutely. All right, so Beer Full of Belly actually moving. He's halfway through 6-3 now, on his way into the bird boost. KB coming up toward the exit boost, and going to take the safe route in. It looks like, so that was a 10:40 exit door there, so I'd imagine he's about 30 seconds behind.
Beerful, though, opted to forgo the bird boost for some reason. I don't really understand, and he got super hung up, lost a lot of time there. I don't know that it's going to be enough for KB to really claw his way back in. I wonder what caused BFOB to skip the bird boost. I wonder if he's watching the broadcast and kind of got an idea of what the lead was like. That was an interesting decision, and it kind of ended up costing him quite a bit there.
Yeah, I wonder, either he's watching and he knows that KB is in trouble, and he's wow, KB taking a hammer there and only had one health left.
Yeah, he only had 1 HP, and he got the Tozy God Hammer, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, from BFOB's decision there, it's possible he just didn't like that bird. If he thought the bird might be low, or just wasn't on the right.
If low bird wasn't a myth, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, indeed. had some trouble there with Jackio.
Yeah, both runners kind of, the cracks are starting to show. I wonder if the hours of gameplay starting to kind of add up at this point.
That is definitely, that could definitely be a thing. We started off with KB and Arcus, and that was quite a while ago. It's been 5 hours now, so it's I'm sure, and I know that Beerful Belly was practicing early on today.
Yeah, so KB had a couple unfortunate deaths. This is going to let Beerful take this one down and go up 2-1 in our best of 5 grand finals for the Ninja Gaiden Racing League. Looks like Beerful's final time was a 12:18, and let's see what Knucklebuster ends up with here as he enters the final altercation with the demon. Makes quick work of the demon. Countdown. It's going to look like a very low 13-0. Oh, yeah. 13-0-0. So 2 deaths, 13. It's rough. Beerful goes up 2-1. And I do think tempo is a thing, or momentum is a thing in these kind of scenarios. But we've kind of talked about how Beerful and Knucklebuster kind of seem to be taking this rather in stride, rather lightheartedly. So, like I said, I'm not a fair weather fan fab. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I want to see KB run it back, kind of avoid those 2 fluke deaths and take this one to a game 5.
Yeah, if I'm KB and I'm coming into this competition, he came in with an 11:53, which, if I remember right, I think that's 9th place. And I'm going up against Beer Full Belly and Retro Runner and Arcus and Lane Rainer and all these other incredible ninjas, I don't know that I expect to pull this off. I don't know that I expect to win this tournament at all. If it were me, I don't think I would. And it makes me feel like if I'm KB right now, I'm still chill because I didn't expect to pull this off anyway.
That's true. I mean, you're probably just kind of happy to be here situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you enter into a tournament with the number 1 and number 2 best players in the world and say, I'm going to make it to the finals.
Exactly.
So I think you're just kind of happy to still be in it.
All right. Getting our fourth race room set up here. Making sure all the runners are ready to go.
Yeah, and it can't be understated. This game is, playing games of this nature at this level for this period of time can be really, really hard on the hands. So I want to make sure we give them just a little breather here as we get the next race room set up. Get the finger stretches, hydrate. I want to make sure that, nobody injures themselves. It's like carpal tunnel or repetitive stress injuries are a real concern when it comes to this hobby, for better or worse.
That is the truth. That is the truth. All right. So a recap. We are in the final match of the inaugural NRL tournament. This match right here is going to decide who is the champion of our tourney. And thus far, we've had 3 races. A Beer Full of Belly has taken down a win for 2 of them. Knucklebuster with 1 win here. So Knucklebuster has to win this next race to stay alive here.
Yeah, KB, if you're out there, buddy, if you're listening, I got a lot of money riding on this one, so don't let me down.
Yeah, this is for not only the KB's tournament life, but the predictable Finn, the predictions Finn, was previously perfect predictions Finn.
I know this is no longer the NRL Grand Finals Best of 5. This is Fab versus Finn 1-on-1 for the prediction Grand Finals, and I don't have any agency in this, it turns out, so I really need KB to kind of clean it up and bring it home. But no, I don't think those deaths are indicative of anything. They're just kind of like, I think the first one was kind of a fluke, and the second one, he had 1 health and he caught a really bad hammer pattern. That kind of stuff happens. You just got to shake it off and move on. And I don't expect him to be, upset about it or anything. Like I said, I think he's just happy to be in the finals and probably just happy to be participating. I think dude is a Ninja Gaiden fiend. So I'm sticking to my guns. I like KB in 5.
All right. Well, I just set the room off, so we should be going here within the next 10 seconds or so. And again, this right here, KB has got to win this to stay alive in this tournament, and more importantly, to maintain the reputation and respect for a less than perfect Finn.
Oh, Fab. As if I was ever concerned. Beerful opting for a little boosty off the Three Stooges at the beginning of 1-1. A strat we haven't really seen from many people. See people kind of go all out in 1-1, which is interesting to me because there are some easy concessions that you can make, like that boost off of the Three Stooges, that don't really lose you a considerable amount of time, and I think would help you just kind of alleviate some of the stress of the race. There's a couple easy boosts in 1-1 that are very, very marginal time losses that I'm surprised we didn't see more runners go for.
That's a really good point. If you take that forward boost in at the Stooges in 1-1, you can actually completely make up that time loss just by going low route versus going that top route. And it's there's not a whole lot to it. I mean, you're talking maybe 0.2 seconds of loss there. Not a big deal at all.
Yeah, similar thing with the sign grab. There's a boost you can do there rather than taking the sign grab. You can do a damage boost to get up onto that top route, and that I think only loses about 1/10 of a second as opposed to the sign grab route. But yeah, I didn't really see either of those strategies during the race. I was kind of surprised. Both runners having really, really clean ladder climbs as we move through the first couple screens of 2-1, and we're all synced up here. And If Beerful Belly were to catch a random shuriken in his toe and maybe take an untimely fall into a pit, I wouldn't be too broken up about it, because I sure would love to see one more game of Ninja Gaiden after this fab.
This is very true. I mean, in every, I think one thing that we've learned in doing races and setting up a tournament like this is that it is really hard to see your friends lose in a race, no matter who it is. You could it could be a race like this where if either of them wins, I'm going to be happy for them. But I like them both so equally that I'm going to be just as broken up about whoever loses. And it's interesting to watch in that way. That I don't know. We're talking about friends and parts of the people of the community, part of the community, and it's hard to root for anyone, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was very, very bittersweet. Retro Runner's one of my favorite streamers, if I'm being honest, and seeing him go up against Arcus, and I love that Retro Runner took it down, but yeah, like we discussed, it feels kind of weird, kind of wrong, kind of sad, watching Arcus lose, because he's such a a pillar of the community, and like you said, been watching him for so many years now. He does feel like a friend in a way, just kind of such a reliable source of friendly and relatable content. And yeah, I don't ever wish the guy that he would lose. So all of this is obviously in good fun. I would be very, very happy to see BFOB take down this whole tournament, and like you said, we're all kind of just homies and rooting for each other. But speaking of, Beerful missed the Ninja Star.
Oh wow, had to go back for the Art of the Fire Wheel. That's a pretty significant loss there.
Yeah, I mean, there are worse time losses, but yeah, it's not a great one. But does give KB a nice little pad or a buffer rather, as we move into the beginning of 3-2.
And speaking of the Arcus Retro Runner race there, I don't think I can say it enough, but a huge thank you to both of those runners specifically for doing this. Retro had to take time off of his world record attempts to get this done, and Arcus is not even running this game currently. So they did not have to do this. They came in and decided to do this, and take time out of their schedules and do all. It's just huge thank you for both of them for participating. And as you were saying, it was hard to watch Arcus lose earlier. And we have a little chat pulled up behind here, and somebody wrote in there, I just want to give Arcus a hug right now. And I think that's kind of how you end up feeling. It's like, oh, you hate to see it, but you also want to see more. Everyone's saying, let's do a game 5 anyway. You just like watching them run.
Yeah, very thankful that they both participated. If I'm being honest, not to detract anything from the participants of the event, but I don't think it would have been quite the same without them. So very happy to have them on board. But to get us back up to speed here, KB kind of had a rough Massacre fight. Just missed some flames, didn't get the best pattern, and that allowed Beerful to really catch up with the standard kill.
Yeah, well done. He's back in this race, maybe less than a second behind at this point.
Yeah,
looks like he might make that up just over that gap right there.
Yeah, very nice. We saw him miss the shuriken throw for the Art of the Fire Wheel in 3-1, and what we said was a pretty sizable time loss. For the most part, he's right back in it.
Yep, so we're making our way over the bridge. If you know the song, go ahead and sing it. We'll have to see again if KB. If he
doesn't go for the boost,
he just doesn't want to charge up the view.
He doesn't like charging up the BU. I guess I learned a new thing. I didn't know that about him. Doesn't charge up his BUs.
Doesn't charge up the BU. I mean, you can't BU if you don't charge it up. So
that's true. Well, is it true? I don't know if that's true. Might agree to disagree.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm always down for a good view. Speaking of, we're about to see a really cool one. This is probably maybe the biggest time save in the entire game. The bullet boost here at the end of this screen in 4-3. This is a really, really cool looking trick. And if I'm being realistic, it's not really that difficult. You kind of just hold forward and jump.
Yeah, it's a lot of people find that to be their favorite boost just because, one, it saves a lot of time. It's pretty cool looking, and it's incredibly easy to do, really.
Yeah, it's very cool looking, and it's really rewarding. But yeah, I think if you want to give Ninja Gaiden speedrunning a try, I would say, get a casual playthrough going and get to that point. Maybe make a save state and then just try to do that boost for a while. You kind of be surprised at how easy that one is to hit. And like I said, it is incredibly fun.
And you're probably right. It's probably one of the biggest saves. Maybe the bat boost of 2-2 and the exit boost at the end of 6-2 might be pretty significant time saves as well as far as boost go. But pretty close to that one. It might actually be the biggest time save of all of them.
I think it is. I think the only one that would give it a run for its money would probably be the SP boost in 5.3, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, the sure. SP is about a second over that backup strat, so I would imagine it's definitely a bigger save than that for sure. And it looks like we're going to be locked up. I mean, like dead locked up frame for frame here almost.
Yeah, it's very nice. So both runners, looks like KB's full health. Beerful has a nice amount of health. They both have the same amount of Nimpo, both not missing the spin slash, and KB just kind of ever so slightly behind here. Beerful's movement just a little bit cleaner as we move into the first couple screens of 5-2. Let's see how both of these players choose to navigate this next screen. It's one of the most difficult screens in the run. We have, what people commonly refer to as the lemon drop section, followed by the Janet Bird boost. Fearful kind of slow there on the flip-flop, getting a little hung up, but managed to make it through.
Yeah, the so-called lemon flop looked like they both missed the Janet boost there.
Yeah, both missed the bird, which is pretty uncharacteristic of them, but once again, it's still very, very close.
Wow, so actually made it through that first screen slightly faster because he didn't go for that last Nimpo and use a cancel, but KB completely made up all the time with that climb, just had an incredibly fast climb and actually exited before him. That was really cool to see.
That was really neat. Both of them hit the SP boost and like loaded the next screen on basically the same frame. Wow, this is really
great. It's like a mirrored image. It's so cool to watch. It looks like they're on the same global timer. They almost look like they're getting the same hammer bro patterns as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Would love to see KB take this one down and get a nice reward in game 5. But like I said earlier, Fab, I will be happy to see either of these runners take it down. They both very, very much deserve it. But here we are moving into the final act of what could potentially be the last race of the inaugural NRL finals. Beerful Belly up 2-1 in a best of 5 over Knucklebuster. And we are moving into some of the most difficult and treacherous screens in the game, followed by an impossible set of bosses. And
looks like KB chose to use the swag star in this one after he had a little trouble in the last one, and that was a really good call there because he got a bad hammer pattern that was negated. So good call to use the swag star as a safety strat there.
Both of them moving through this first screen of 6-2 with relative ease. The screen can be super problematic, especially these jetpack ninjas. So Beerful goes for the jetpack boost. KB forgoes it, but they both get to the top of the choke wall at like the same time.
Yeah,
is the jetpack boost even worth it?
Yeah, so it is a significant save, and BFOB was ahead, but look at KB's climbs.
KB's climbs.
They're incredibly fast. He's making up so much time with those climbs.
Yeah, the climbs are very, very good. We can see the difference kind of adding up over the course of the run. Move into this last screen of 6-2, both runners setting up for the exit boost.
You know, I gotta say that despite our pretend personal rivalry in this, I'm kind of rooting for Knucklebuster here because I want to see the game 5.
Yeah, I would love to.
Oh, having some difficulty.
Yeah, kind of got a rough hammer pattern there, but let's see if we can kind of clean it up on the climbs. Just ever so slightly behind, yeah.
See how this bird boost goes. There can be a god hammer that you can get from this hammer bro after the bird boost. Make sure they make it through, and they do. Ooh. Well done.
If I'm being honest, Fab, I thought we talked about how low bird is a myth earlier. I saw KB kill the Silver Surfer before the bird, and I got extremely nervous. I was like, no, you don't kill that enemy. You don't kill that enemy.
Yeah, he does that. He does that, and it does. It's been said that it might jinx the bird, so he does like to do that, though. Almost daring a low bird to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do some improv there. He missed the cancel and had to spin a prior enemy and then work his way back through that last screen without any nimpo. So
Yeah, it was
maybe doing some
unfortunate.
improv there to try to keep pace.
Yeah, he probably lost about a second. That, if I'm being honest, he doesn't really have to give here as we enter the Jakio fight. It's like, oh, this is so close.
Wow.
I would have loved it. Oh, I think KB should have chased it down. I think that might be the difference. I really, really would have liked to see him chase it down.
But
I think we're
KB had
giving
some
away time.
difficulty. Had to slash that second cycle from the wall. Just amazing,
be
even
it,
that he
Fab.
got 3 cycles.
Beerful kind of playing this really safe though.
He is. Oh, but he got caught in the heart. Oh my
KB got
goodness.
that thing. Oh, we're gonna have to see the time. I think KB might have stole it. I think he might have stole it. If the actual sync is accurate.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the game, the mods here.
Yeah, Beerful,
it's looking preliminarily like KB at 1204 and BFOB at 1205. We're gonna have to verify.
I guess that's definitive, Fab. On to game 5.
These are just tentative times. We don't know for sure yet, but they are. It looks like our race mods they might have to frame count here.
Yeah, that was incredibly close. Beerful's shrimp pattern on the demon was just a little too aggro, and he had to kind of, just wait it out. And that allowed Knucklebuster to kind of, roll the dice and use that more aggressive jump rope strategy and just kind of, get in there and bet it all on black. And it paid off. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he was able to just snatch that one from the jaws of defeat. And I think we might have a spicy game 5 finals on our hands.
All right, so I'm going to notify runners here that we're going to perform a frame count. We've got one of our race mods doing a frame count of Knucklebuster, and the other race mod is going to do a frame count of BFOB. So we're going to get official times before we move on. But it's looking like there's a pretty good chance that this is going to go to a game 5.
Whew, I was worried for a second. KB, I thought he was going to make me eat crow, but I think he might have clutched it out. And I am very, very happy. That was maybe my favorite race of the whole event. I don't know if we've had one closer. That was so incredibly close. I mean, I guess KB and Christine was also very close last week, but that was just
that was incredible.
That was too close for comfort.
The KB Christine run was just absolutely legendary. That was amazing. I mean, that was some clutch. I don't know what happened to BFOB there. I was so focused on Knucklebuster. I saw that BFOB moved out really far away from the demon.
Yeah,
and I guess out of safety. Yeah, he looked like he was trying to be safe there.
Just like he read the demon pattern, he was like, nah, I don't like it. Kind of decided to take a step back and let things settle and kind of read and react a new pattern, but he didn't know that he didn't have that time to give away. And sometimes that can be the difference. KB, I think, like we said, went for kind of a little more aggressive strategy and just got in there and might have ended up being the difference. Sometimes you got to go head to head with the demon heart and just, take your licks. You got to get in there and do some damage. And if you do it correctly, you can actually just, take a tail hit, jump in four mash, take a tail hit, jump in 4 mash and repeat, and you'll win the trade with the demon. I think that, I don't think that's 100% to happen, because you can mash lock or miss an input. I think also sometimes the tail won't hit you up in the correct direction, but yeah, if you do race the demon in that fashion, you will win the damage race.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's interesting because the safety, if you're going to go straight for the heart and not kill the tail, the safety strat for the demon really is to be as aggressive as possible there. And gosh, this is so close. I think we're gonna go to a game 5 though. They're still working on it. Sorry, we're doing a lot of back end work here to try to confirm.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that it's fair to both runners. You know, Bab and I kind of having a friendly rivalry here, and I would love to see a game 5, but we do want to be fair and honest, and you know, we don't want to just call it in KB's favor because we want more Ninja Gaiden content. So it's important that we frame count and ensure that the results are correct. Definitely want to maintain the competitive integrity.
Indeed. Well, that was gosh, that was I did not see that coming at the end there. I mean, I thought for sure when BFOB took down Jackio in that 2.5, I mean that's like 2 or 3 seconds basically at that point of lead, and just going into the demon, it looked like it was insurmountable. I mean, it's a small amount of time, but it's for these sort of runners, they're usually really consistent going into the demon. So I just thought, there's no way. And then when BFOB had to take it out so far away from the demon there, gosh, that was just incredible. I can't believe Knucklebuster just basically had it would have been like a 4-second swing just on that one screen.
Yeah, that was very, very exciting to watch. I'm interested to see the results of the frame count. Looks like there might have been some slight delay with BFOB's timer. It'll be interesting how that factors into the equation. But I think from what I'm gathering from the back room, I think it's unfortunately still way too early to tell. We might have a little bit of a delay here, may end up cutting to music for a little while or something while we get this sorted out. But unfortunately, I think it's so close that we will need to check the VODs and do a frame count.
Okay, it looks like we have an official time for KB, possibly. They're reporting 12:03.5 for KB. We should know within a minute or two on BFOB's time. It's currently downloading to frame count on that one. I mean, it really is. Seamless ran back the sync of the two streams, and he even concluded, he said, I can't call it just based on that. We have to frame count. So Christine, I hope it's nothing that complicated. If we start having to count chads and have issues, it's going to be ugly. This really is. It's pretty crazy.
Who do you think won in your heart of heart, Fabs?
I think it's going to be KB.
Fabs, but okay.
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want. I like KB here in that last one. I think he did win. Okay, BFOB is actually reporting in Racetime GG that he frame counted his own recording, and he has a 12:04.1.
That would be insane if it was a half a second.
So that's half a second. That's 0.6 to give the win to KB if that's the case. Unbelievable, y'all. I'm watching our race admins just they're working a mile a minute now, trying to get everything done. How crazy is that?
A lot of moving pieces waiting for people's, recordings to finish processing, or, download, or VODs to propagate on Twitch. So there's unfortunately some red tape associated with getting the frames count completed. It's unfortunately not just as easy as if you had the local recording right in front of you on your own machine and could just load it into AVI Demux or your preferred program. There's a little bit of overhead here that we have to deal with, unfortunately, that does delay the process a little bit, but we promise we are getting very, very close to having a final result for that race. Once again, we just want to maintain the competitive integrity. This is all in good fun, but we do want to keep there are some prizes at stake, and we do want to make sure that people are trying their hardest. We do want to keep this competitive. We don't want people to think this is for nothing. There is pride and respect on the line, and it's important that to maintain that competitive integrity helps us maintain people giving their full performance, trying their best, putting in those that run, that run that we just watched. We don't get that if we don't keep the results honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of those moments that okay, so Black Squall is currently frame counting. All right, so this is one of those moments we didn't really in prior weeks in the group stages in the round of 8, we asked everybody to local record, and we did have a couple races where we had to go verify some things, and we're able to actually get that done before the end of stream because of the amount of races that we had. But in this particular, we don't have any more races after this. This is literally it, and so we have to know right now whether or not whether or not KB actually won, to know whether or not we race again. So this literally we did not foresee this having to happen. We had talked before about if we need a frame count, we can always frame count after the fact off stream, and then we can announce the official results after the fact, because we didn't need to know the results that particular night. And if we it looks like it's confirmed. Yep,
yeah,
they just confirmed. BFOB was correct. We're going to a game 5.
Final times for that race. Beerful of Belly 12:04.1, Knucklebuster 12:03.5, 0.6 seconds that we saw. It was just Beerful taking that single step back, that one pause in the demon. That's all it took to allow Knucklebuster to just slither in there and snatch that one away and give us what we all wanted: one more hype game 5 for the grand finals of the inaugural NRL tournament.
Let's go, dude.
I'm so glad KB didn't make me a liar. Very happy to.
There it is. That's that extra spin slash. Now we go to game 5. Oh, this is hype. I'm really happy to see another race happen here. This is going to be great.
This is awesome. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I would have been a little disappointed, if we didn't get a game 5 here. But no, this is going to be very exciting. And these guys have been so evenly matched throughout these past 4 races. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been a KB stan all evening, and I'm going to stick to my guns. But I mean, that Beerful has put up some really impressive times so far this evening, and he's also been a nearly unstoppable force throughout the rest of this event. So both of these guys very much deserving of this title, and I think either of them would be happy to see the other walk away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And serious props to our race mods for getting those downloaded and frame counted so quickly. Again, I know I said this earlier, but we would not be able to pull this off legitimately without them. So huge thank you. All right, just setting up our last race room here, making sure everybody gets in it, and then we'll be off to our 5th and final race of the NRL tournament.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Just kind of came and went. Very exciting. Had a really good time. Thank you so much for having me, Fab. Looks like Beerful ready's up. KB is in the race room, just waiting for him to ready up. Should be underway momentarily. See, looks like the runners are having some friendly banter here. I think they're both in a really good mood, and I think they're equally excited to see who's going to come out as the winner.
Yeah, this is a great way. Honestly, this is a great way to end this. I love that this went to 5 games. That was a pretty crazy ending to that last race. But I'm just happy that we get to see these guys go at it one more time.
Yeah, I'm assuming that a certain number of people wanted to see specifically Arcus and the Retro Runner face off, and then they were probably like, Beerful of Belly, Knucklebuster, I don't know those guys, I'm out of here. And what all I can say is what a colossal mistake if you left before these grand finals, because these have been incredible so far. These guys are both incredibly talented, and this has been a lot of fun to watch. So if you left early, you messed up. Better come back and check out that VOD.
Indeed. I think, they have definitely lived up to the hype. We've had several very, very close races, keeping times extremely low, very few errors to speak of at all. I mean, they're showing why they were the number 1 and number 2 seed going in to the round of 8, and why they're here in the finals. All right, gonna give them the 30-second warning, and then we are going to start our 5th and final race.
Whew. I'm just excited we got to see this. I'm gonna root as soon as we get basically into the last part of 6. I'm gonna be heavily pulling for KB, mainly because I want you to be wrong, Feb.
It's totally understandable. Totally understandable, Finn. There are more than just you that like to see me be wrong, and to be perfectly honest with you, I deserve it most of the time.
Nah, I don't believe that that's true for a second. All right, guys, we're counting down here, just about to start here, and should be about 5 seconds. Good luck to both of our racers, Knucklebuster, Beer Full of Belly, Game 5 of the NRL Finals.
Let's go. This is gonna be awesome.
Go. Here we go.
A little stutter step from B-Fob.
Yeah, that was weird. Are you holding right on the D-pad, buddy? This is the grand finals. Get it together.
Repositioning the thumb there or something. Interesting fact about B-Fob actually is he has and always has played this game with piano grip on the A and B.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually super interesting. I don't think this would be an easy game to play that way.
Yeah, he said when he first started the game, because of the jump and slash mechanic where you have to hit the buttons pretty quickly, he always felt like it was easier to use piano grip to do that. So that's the way he's played ever since, obviously. So for those who don't know, he's going to use his left thumb normally for the D-pad, but he's going to hold his right hand on top of the controller and press the A and B buttons with his fingertips as if he's typing on a keyboard, aka like a piano. Mm-hmm. And that's how he plays the game. Other than obviously the bosses where he uses the standard vertical grip for mashing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works. I think I'm a big proponent of the idea of finding whatever's, most comfortable and accessible for you. And if it's, piano or arcade grip or claw grip or vertical grip or, gold jacket, green jacket, whatever works. And it obviously works for Beerful, we've seen throughout this tournament.
Indeed. Again, we see interesting. KB must have missed some Nimpo there in 2-1. He's going into 2-2 with the the spin slash, but only 10 Nimpo, which is really low to be using that strat. See if he grabs the 10. Yeah, he does.
He's like, all right. I know I'm being a little too aggressive here. I'm gonna bail out and grab this Nimpo, which I think is a good call.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't see there in 2-1 if he just missed some cancels there. I wasn't sure.
See how this bat boost plays out for both runners. Oh, Beerful didn't reset the bat spawn. That could have been really, really bad. He kind of bailed out of it at the last second. Good on him to realize, because he was about to take a trip to the pit.
That's got to get your heart going right there for sure.
For sure. That gives KB a nice little lead as he enters the Act 2 boss fight here. But yeah, that was scary. I'm very glad that Beerful recognized and was able to correct. I would not have wanted to start out our game 5 in that fashion.
Indeed. Wow. So, and when he was on his way in there, he was still getting some troll hammers as well. So he just did not get a good pattern there for sure. Knucklebuster on his way into 3-1 decided not to take any of those 5 pos at the beginning of the stage. And missed the wow. Oh, that was so close.
He's
My
playing a little
goodness.
fast and loose for my taste, Fab. Yeah, I know he's the low percent expert at this point, but this is any percent. You can use the sub weapons. Feel free to go ahead and grab that
he
Nympho.
flamed up there. That the flame didn't kill that top guy, and so he couldn't. He had to boost off. Oh my god,
He's getting beat up.
hard.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is gonna put them almost even again.
Yeah, it kind of makes up for Beerful's bat boost fiasco that he had a little bit ago in 2-2.
Yeah, and that right there is a good reason why you do that double scree if you can in this stage, just because it negates that whole mummy RNG. That mummy can either walk out at you, which is good. You want it to walk out at you, or it can just stay back there and toss hammers up in the air and just make your life hell, which is exactly what happened there.
KB missing some flames here. Does not quite get the standard kill. I think Beerful did get the standard kill, and I think they've killed Basker at almost the same time. Going to be very close here as we enter into the first stage of Act 4.
Yeah, B-Fob catching up time there, just barely behind at this point, almost negligible.
I'd be interested to see if the runners opt for this bat boost again. A lot of nerves here as we're in, game 5 of the finals. A lot of pride on the line. Knucklebuster does his little stutter step manip that you picked up on earlier this evening. I like that. Seems to be working for him.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna have to go try that out probably right after the stream, just because I'm interested to see how that works. I've never seen that strat used before. It'd be great if that's a really consistent way to spawn that bat low for sure.
Well, look at this though again, Fab. Once again, KB eking out just ever so slightly those advantages with those superior wall climbs. He ends up, I'd probably say, picked up probably a second on that wall climb there at the end of the 4-1, giving a nice little buffer as they move into the bridge here on 4-2.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we've seen more aggressive strats from BFOB during this race. But we've also it's interesting. I don't know why KB chose.
Why didn't he spin there?
I really don't know. He chose to pause and get the spin slash, which he didn't need.
The problem was that he missed the bird kill. So he had a bird that he had to clean up previously. Right. But I don't understand why he didn't spin it out. I don't think we're particularly choked on Nympho moving into 4-3 here. Health is not a concern either, but the big thing is time, right? We gave up time that we really don't want to be giving away.
Oh, okay. I'm being told he accidentally grabbed the swag star earlier in the stage. I guess I missed that, and that's why he had to pause there and make sure he got the spin slash. Okay,
understood.
Well, he's going to be, I don't know, what's 3 or 4 seconds behind at this point?
Yeah, let's take a good look at the fade to black here for both players. But yeah, I'd say I don't think it's any more than 5 seconds for sure.
Which, again, is not bad considering everything that's gone on here. We've had some interesting things happen to both players thus far during this run.
Yeah, it looked about 3 seconds difference. I think Beerful faded to black at 6:25, KB 6:28. So still very much anybody's game. See both players move into what we call the rage stage. Welcome to Act 5. This is I guess where hell begins. There's quite a difficulty curve increase here as we move into this first stage of Act 5. Health management, Nympho management, and pit management. All real concerns, but both of these guys are just kind of cruising, Fab. Yeah,
both of them opted to not go for the double bird boost there. The only major difference otherwise was Beerful hit the manip at the beginning of the stage, and KB couldn't get the manip to go.
Yeah, that happens. That Hammer Bro at the beginning of 5-1 can be quite fickle when it comes to giving up the manip, but see both players going to move into arguably one of the most difficult screens in the run. We've talked about this a couple times this evening. This final screen of 5-2 with the lemon drop and the Janet bird boost. Let's see how Beerful Belly approaches it.
So far, he's done this flip-flop drop and then go for the bird boost, and he hits all of it. That was perfectly executed. He has a good amount of Nympho, too. Going into that stage with 55 Nympho is going to be very comfortable.
Yeah, they both got the bird boost this time, which you love to see. I think they both missed it last time. KB, Nimpo, a little low on Nimpo and health, has to kind of watch it. I don't think it's cause for concern, but definitely something to be mindful of. You don't want to put yourself in an unnecessary risky position.
Yeah, for sure. BFOB is running a hell of a race right now. We got to remember that if BFOB is able to get another 2.5 cycle at the end of this run at Jackio, he's looking at another 2 to 3 second time save there. So KB's really got to make up some time in the stages if he's going to negate that sort of time save from BFOB at the end of the run.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send somebody over to his house and take a little pipe to his hands or whatever. I want this one to be extra close. KB just I think still about 3 to 4 seconds behind, which as we've seen before, it could just come down to those final bosses. Jakio and the Demon are the great equalizers of Ninja Gaiden, and I think KB has really kept pace with Beerful in the boss fights. I think it's kind of anybody's game when we enter that boss room.
There's some incredible hype going on in Ninja Gaiden speedrunning when people are setting up Tanya Harding moments for speedrunners.
I'm glad you got that reference.
I did. All right, so moving on. BFOB going into 6-2. KB not far behind here. This is a really, really tough screen. We'll have to see. So just very well done from BFOB. Looks like KB's gonna have to make some adjustments though. Yeah, and he takes a knockback there. Fearful doing the Rocket Ninja boost there, working his way up the choke wall. KB's got some time to wake up here, Finney.
Yeah, I think he's really going to need to run the rest of Act 6 as clean as possible. He needs I don't even know if Beerful did any climbs on that long ladder. Really need KB to kind of cruise up here. Not bad, not bad. I think that's where he's going to, make his significant time saves is on these ladders.
Yeah, thus far you've seen him, using safer strats than what BFOB has been pulling out, but making up the time back on those ladders.